For decades, when people talked about Europe's busiest ports, the conversation almost always started in Germany. Hamburg became one of the continent's greatest maritime gateways, connecting global trade with Europe's industrial heartland. Millions of containers flowed through its terminals every year, supplying factories, retailers, and consumers across the continent. But quietly, just a few hundred kilometers away on the Baltic coast, another port has been transforming itself into one of Europe's fastest-growing logistics hubs. This isn't a story about building a brand new port. It's about an existing port that has steadily evolved into one of Europe's most important maritime gateways, and one that is beginning to reshape the balance of trade across Central and Eastern Europe. This is the story of the Port of Gdańsk. To understand why Gdansk matters today, we first need to understand geography. Location has always determined which ports become successful. Ships naturally seek the fastest and most efficient routes to deliver cargo, where businesses choose gateways that minimize transportation costs and delays. Situated on Poland's Baltic coastline, Gdansk occupies one of the most strategic locations in Northern Europe. From here, cargo can reach not only Poland, but also the Czech Republic, Slovakia, Ukraine, the Baltic states, and much of Central Europe. Instead of traveling farther west before moving inland, goods can arrive closer to their final destinations. That geographical advantage has become increasingly valuable as European supply chains continue to evolve. But location alone isn't enough. Many ports occupy excellent positions on maps, yet never become global shipping hubs. What separates Gdansk is something much more difficult to build: depth. Modern container shipping has changed dramatically over the past 2 decades. Shipping companies increasingly operate enormous vessels capable of carrying well over 20,000 containers on a single voyage. These giants reduce shipping costs but require exceptionally deep ports capable of handling them safely. Many Baltic ports simply cannot accommodate these vessels without restrictions. Gdańsk can. Its deepwater facilities allow some of the world's largest container ships to dock directly after sailing from Asia without relying on intermediate ports. That changes everything. Instead of unloading cargo in Western Europe before redistributing it across the continent, shipping lines can deliver containers directly into Poland. Every avoided transfer saves time, reduces costs, and simplifies logistics. In global trade, those small efficiencies quickly become enormous competitive advantages. Over the last several years, the Port of Gdańsk has undergone continuous expansion. New terminals, upgraded equipment, expanded storage areas, improved rail connections, and modern logistics infrastructure have dramatically increased its handling capacity. At the center of this transformation is the Baltic Hub, formerly known as Gdansk. What began as an ambitious container terminal has grown into one of the largest container facilities on the Baltic Sea. As capacity expanded, shipping companies responded. More direct shipping routes were introduced. Larger vessels began calling at Gdansk. Cargo volumes continued climbing. Each expansion created additional opportunities, attracting even more investment and strengthening the port's position within global supply chains. This is exactly how major logistics hubs develop, not overnight, but through decades of continuous improvement. Global events have also accelerated Gdansk's importance. The COVID-19 pandemic exposed weaknesses in international supply chains. Companies realized that relying too heavily on a limited number of logistics hubs created unnecessary risks. Then came Russia's invasion of Ukraine. The conflict fundamentally altered trade flows throughout Eastern Europe. Routes shifted, markets adjusted. Companies searched for stable and secure alternatives for moving goods. As Russian ports became less attractive for many international businesses, Baltic ports within NATO and the European Union gained greater strategic importance. Gdansk was perfectly positioned to benefit. Today, it serves not only Poland's economy, but increasingly functions as an important gateway for neighboring countries as well. This growing role naturally leads to comparisons with Germany. For decades, ports like Hamburg and Bremerhaven dominated maritime trade across much of Central Europe. Their logistics networks remain among the most sophisticated anywhere in the world. Extensive rail systems, inland waterways, distribution centers, and decades of accumulated expertise continue to make Germany one of Europe's logistics superpowers. So does Gdansk truly threaten Germany? Not exactly. The relationship is more nuanced. Rather than replacing Hamburg, Gdansk is gradually changing where certain cargo naturally flows. Goods destined for Poland no longer always need to pass through Germany first. The same applies to increasing volumes heading toward parts of Central and Eastern Europe. Instead of one dominant gateway serving the region, Europe is developing multiple specialized logistics hubs. That creates greater resilience while reducing bottlenecks across the continent. In other words, Gdansk isn't taking all of Germany's business. It's claiming more of the business that makes the most geographical and economic sense. Infrastructure beyond the port is equally important. A port is only as effective as its ability to move cargo inland. Recognizing this, Poland has invested heavily in improving highways, rail connections, and logistics corridors, linking Gdansk with the rest of the country and neighboring markets. Containers arriving by sea can quickly continue their journey by train or truck, reaching manufacturers, warehouses, and consumers across the region. These improvements have strengthened Poland's position as an increasingly important logistics center within Europe. The benefits extend well beyond shipping companies. Every increase in cargo volume supports jobs across transportation, warehousing, customs, logistics services, manufacturing, and infrastructure. Ports are economic ecosystems. Thousands of businesses depend on their efficiency. As trade expands, so do opportunities for investment, employment, and industrial development. For Poland, Gdansk represents far more than just another harbor. It represents growing influence within European commerce. The timing is particularly significant. Many manufacturers are reconsidering where they produce goods. Companies are diversifying supply chains. Governments are investing in strategic infrastructure. As Europe adapts to new geopolitical realities, logistics networks are evolving alongside them. Ports capable of handling larger ships while connecting efficiently to inland markets are becoming increasingly valuable assets. Gdansk checks all of those boxes. Its continued growth reflects broader changes taking place across Europe's economy. Trade is becoming more diversified, infrastructure is becoming more resilient, and countries like Poland are playing larger roles than ever before. Does this mean Germany's great ports are entering decline? Not at all. Hamburg remains one of Europe's most powerful maritime gateways, with enormous advantages built over generations. Its logistics network, industrial connections, and international reputation will continue making it indispensable for European trade. But dominance no longer belongs exclusively to a handful of traditional ports. Competition is increasing. New infrastructure is emerging. Investment is flowing eastward. And Gdansk has positioned itself to benefit from these long-term trends. Perhaps the better question isn't whether Gdansk will replace Hamburg. It's whether Europe is entering an era where multiple world-class ports share responsibilities that were once concentrated in only a few locations. If current trends continue, the answer may already be unfolding. The Port of Gdańsk isn't trying to become another Hamburg. It's becoming something different. A modern deepwater gateway connecting Poland and Central Europe directly with global markets. An existing port that continues to grow year after year. And a powerful reminder that in global trade, geography still matters. But smart investment can transform geography into opportunity. As Europe's economic landscape continues to evolve, one thing is becoming increasingly clear. The Port of Gdansk is no longer simply Poland's port. It is rapidly becoming one of Europe's most important gateways to the future.